What it is, y'all? What is up? What it do? It is your boy Alan C. Back with a brand new episode of Al You Bugging. As you see at the marquee at the bottom, follow Al You Bugging on Instagram at Al underscore you underscore bugging. You can follow me on X as well at Al underscore you underscore bugging. Had to take a week off. Took a little bye week for myself. Um, had some personal matters going on, but we back and we made it back. Um, let's get right into the proceedings this evening. Like I said, shout out to John, shout out to Tay, shout out to Herb, my sideline talk family. What up? I'm gonna get y'all on here one of these days, bro. But let's start it off. This is how we want to start it off. The Buccaneers. I'm sorry, not the Buccaneers. Lord have mercy. It wasn't the Buccaneers. It was the Broncos that beat the Saints last night. Oh my gosh, they put a hurting on them. 33-6 was the final score. No, I think they got 10. They might have got 10. Oh, have mercy. Screwing up today. Let me get that score for you guys. Hold on. 33-10. 33-10 was that final score. Last night. It was ugly. I knew it was going to be an ugly game. If you sat through that whole game and you watched that game, you may be entitled to compensation. That's how ugly that game was. Where do I start? Drew Brees came out. That's a good thing for the Saints. You got to see the prodigal son return. Breez's nice came through for the Saints. He got, welcome to the field. Sean Payton put a hurting on the team that fired him, sent them away for a year for Bountygate. It was two rookie quarterbacks playing against each other, so it wasn't that crisp of a game. It just wasn't that good of a game, y'all. For Bo Nix, he threw 16 for 26, 164 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Shout out to Javonte Williams. That running back is for real. He got 88 yards and 2 touchdowns on 14 carries. Bo Nix did run for 75 yards as well. And then on the other side, you had Spencer Rattler start the game. He was 25 for 35 on 172 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but a bunch of fumbles. And then Jake Hayner came in. And relief duty, went 3 for 4. He finally got the Saints a touchdown. Wasn't much on the ground for Kamara. He only had 10 yards. Miller went for 36 yards. Kendre Miller went for 36 yards. He led the Saints with rushing. The leading receiver was Cedric Wilson Jr. for the Saints. He wound up with 57 yards and the only touchdown. But yeah, like I said, it was just two young quarterbacks, and they look young, and we're gonna go ahead and move on because I don't like to be mean. This is where we meant to talk about the Bucks. The Bucks and the Ravens on Monday Night Football. Cannot wait. Monday Night Football, the bright lights, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Buck Irving, Mike Evans, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Godwin. I mean, the stars is going to be out on Monday night in Tampa. Stars will be out. for the injuries, because they only practiced 2 times so far this week with another scheduled practice tomorrow. Mike Evans has not practiced at all for the Ravens. I'm sorry, for the Bucks at this time. Um, and Jamil Dean hasn't practiced at all this week. So if they might be game time decisions. We'll see. I'm gonna check tomorrow during the games to see if he practiced or they're officially ruled out. For the Ravens, all of their starters are practicing, except for the special team returner. Deontay Hardy is having another issue with his knee. But all in all, the Ravens are healthy. Stars of this game. Who do I expect to go off in this game? Like I said, Lamar and Baker, they used to battle twice a year in the AFC North. Both of their teams are playing very well, like offensively. This could be a shootout. The Ravens have the 31st ranked offense. But again, the quarterbacks they've played, Pat Mahomes, then had to see Dak Prescott, and then had to take on Joe Burrow and young JD. So Ravens went through a gauntlet of quarterbacks, and they own the 31st ranked passing defense. Baker's emergence has him sitting on top of the passing TDs in the entire NFL. Godwin and Evans together combined for 821 yards and 10 touchdowns already through the first 6 games of the year. Derrick Henry as well as Lamar are in the MVP race. Derrick Henry, of course, is leading the Offensive Player of the Year so far. And the offensive line for the Ravens, somehow it course corrected itself. I think that had a lot to do, and no offense to Voorhees, but moving Makari over to left guard and starting Roger Rosengarten at tackle has really made a big influence on this offensive line. So shout out to both of them. Zay and Bateman, they're getting on the same page with Lamar. Pass the game, Lamar said, the game is starting to slow down for him. And he's really been in control of the offense, and it's showing. Night and day from 2 years ago with the Greg Roman offense compared to Lamar being in charge of this Todd Monken offense. We want to see what happens with Mike Evans, because Mike Evans and Godwin may not match up too well with the Ravens, in the sense that I feel like the Ravens in and of itself will be at a disadvantage with Stevens and Humphrey trying to play them. Like I said, they got the 31st ranked pass defense. At this point in the season, your numbers are what they are, and they mean something. So 31st ranked pass defense means that you have been struggling with the pass. So if Baker and Evans, if he plays, and Godwin can get into a rhythm and get that going early, Buck Irvin out the backfield, or forgot the other running back's name out the backfield, Rashad Wright out the backfield, catching the ball. Could be a long night for the Ravens. I'm going to say it like this. It's going to be 34-31. I think if the Ravens can get out with an early lead and use Derrick Henry, I might be willing to say that'd be 34 or 30. I'm sorry, 40-30 in favor of the Ravens. But if, like I said, the wide receivers for the Buccaneers can get off and get going and, do their thing, I see 34-31 Buccaneers final score. All right, y'all. Week 7 power rankings. week 7. 32 through 25 is up on my IG page. Patriots, worst team in the league, and they're going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Talk about that later. But these teams are just bad, and Saints is probably free falling to somewhere around 28, 29, might even be 30 the way they're looking. Cardinals is they could go up, they could go down. Cardinals is the only team to win by 20 and lose by 20 in the same season. I mean, in the season so far, or win by 28, lose by 28. So they are very up and down, very inconsistent. Hopefully, the Rams, who's at 21 right now, they get healthy. Supposed to be getting Cooper Kupp back. They can start coming up. So the Bears, really hard to keep them out of the top 15, especially if they start winning. They're on the bye week this week, but if they start stringing together some wins, they could be heading towards the top 15. Seahawks could be falling. Broncos have been doing very well with Sean Payton and his rookie quarterback. So that's why I got them at 18. Bengals could be free falling. It's hard as a Ravens fan to try to say I've been giving them hope, but they're running out of opportunities. They definitely need this win against Cleveland. Cleveland getting Nick Chubb back, but they definitely need this win against Cleveland. So I can say. 16 is the Jets. They could definitely be moving up. The Chargers could definitely be moving up if Herbert stays healthy. You got the Steelers and Cowboys 14 and 13. They could be switching. The Cowboys did beat the Steelers earlier this year. It's the main reason I have the Cowboys still ahead of the Steelers. But Falcons and Buccaneers line up this top or the bottom, outside the top 10. All right, so at number 10, coming in at number 10, the Packers coming off a big victory over the Cardinals. Jordan Love is back. He's healthy. He's playing. They're almost right where he was last year this time when he started to get on a hot run and take the Packers deep into the playoffs. So I got the Packers at number 10. Number 9, the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles. They barely snuck out a win against the Browns, and their coach is definitely on a hot seat. So I don't know if it's possible for me to move them out of the top 10 with my heart, but my head is definitely saying they might not be a top 10 team much longer. But I got them at number 9 for now. Number 8, the Buffalo Bills just got a brand new addition. I'm going to talk about that later when I talk about the game this week. But Buffalo Bills at number 8, they got a win on Monday night against the Jets. Jets also got a big acquisition that I'm going to talk about a little bit later as well. But for right now, the Buffalo Bills are the 8th ranked team in the NFL. Number 7, the Commanders. They lost a close game to the Ravens. The Ravens did control the game the whole day, but Jayden Daniels is special. I see Jayden Daniels definitely winning that division and keeping the Commanders afloat for a good couple of years. I think they got a good one with him. Number 6, the San Francisco 49ers. They are, striking. They're on top of their division. Starting to get healthy. Debo is back. Ayuk has been playing well. Hopefully they get Christian McCaffrey back. And 49ers, Brock Purdy has been playing very well. You can't even say Brock Purdy has been getting carried this year. He's been playing very well. 49ers are 6. 5th ranked team, the Texans. They blew out the Patriots 41-21. Like I said, Patriots the worst team in the league thus far. It's a 3-way tie for the worst team, and Patriots is one of them. C.J. Stroud and that offense is starting to click. Like I see, you put up 41 points. It's starting to click. So I look for the Texans to start making a good AFC push run. to be up there mentioned with, the Ravens and Chiefs as one of the best teams. The Lions blew the hell out of the Cowboys. They beat the hell out of them Sunday, 47-9. It wasn't even a competitive game. They were lining up the linemen to play wide receiver. They were trolling the Cowboys the whole night. It wasn't even competitive. And Cowboys are definitely free falling. But they lost Aiden Hutchinson for the year, broke his leg. So you'll see how this offense keeps them afloat. But that's a big blow for someone that was leading, and in my opinion, leading the Defensive Player of the Year race. All right, the number 3 team, the Vikings, they are one of the only undefeated teams left in this league. But they were on a bye week last week, and I can't move them up or down because they were on a bye. Number 2 team, Baltimore Ravens. They looked so much better, and getting their identity and sticking with their identity offensively. They say they beat the Commanders with young Jayden Daniels. Didn't have to go down to a complete shootout this week like it did last week against the Bengals. But, like I said, they got 2 guys that are in the MVP race. And if you want to make an argument for them being number 1, you wouldn't really be wrong. But number 1 team, in my opinion, is still the Chiefs. They're on a bye. They're undefeated. They haven't lost a game since Christmas. And they're the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions. In order to be the champion, you got to beat the champion. You got to knock them off their hill. Kill the king, throw him off the throne, and then you can take the throne. But until then, they're still number 1. All right, so like I said, Packers, Eagles, Bills, Commanders, 49ers, Texans, Lions, Vikings, Ravens, Chiefs. Top 10 teams in the NFL. All right, so this weekend is very interesting. A very interesting weekend in football. Starts off at 9:30 on Sunday morning. Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the New England Patriots for the battle of who is the worst team in the league. Jacksonville has struggled, so has New England Patriots. New England Patriots have put in their rookie quarterback who happens to have a knee injury this weekend. His body was holding him off. They said that line wasn't ready for him to start. And after his very first start, has a knee injury. Jacksonville Jaguars, they paid all this money, and I am diehard. I'm going to go down with the ship playing the trumpets, the flutes, and the violins. Trevor Lawrence has not looked good this year. He is definitely regressing from the 2 years I've seen him, 2 years ago when I seen him beat the Chargers in the playoffs and play a competitive first quarter against the Chiefs. He's regressed. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense have not looked the same as they did last year with Josh Hines Allen playing well. Tyson Campbell should be getting back with the team healthy. But that starts off your Sunday morning, 9:30 against, as I call it, the primetime game in reverse because they're a standalone game at 9:30. All right. And then also at 1 o'clock, the Buffalo Bills are playing against the Tennessee Titans. Buffalo Bills get help at wide receiver. The Bills got Amari Cooper from the Browns. Sent the 3rd-round pick for him. So Buffalo gets Amari Cooper in the 6th, and Cleveland gets a 3rd and a 7th. This move was definitely needed for the Bills offense. They didn't have a number 1 wide receiver. Keon Coleman was trying to carry everything, but he's a rookie. And with rookies, you're going to have growing pains. So they put him out there, and, he's trying to get on the same page with Josh Allen. It just was not – it was clicking, but it wasn't clicking to the effect that they wanted it to. So they bring in offensive wide receiver firepower, and Amari Cooper is a solid, good to great wide receiver that they've added. I love this pickup so much for Buffalo Bills. Like I said, their defense is getting healthy. Turin Johnson is back. Bernard is coming back, I believe. Matt Milano, they get back at the end of the year. So Buffalo, hopefully they'll be healthy enough to make a serious run and push in the AFC. All right. And you have the Texans playing up against the Packers on Sunday as well. That's the next game. The Lions versus the Vikings. This is a battle. It's a NFC North battle. They call the North AFC and NFC the Black and Blue division. I see a lot of black and blue in this game. Very hard fought, very defensive. Hopefully the Lions offense pulls this one out. But I'll talk about who I'm picking later. But this right here, like I said, the Vikings are the only only NFC team that is undefeated. So the Lions look to knock them off and take control of the NFC North. All right. So the Jets take on the Steelers at 8 o'clock Sunday night primetime. Jets and Steelers. As you saw in the clip behind me, or the next clip, the Raiders got star wide receiver Devontae Adams. Sorry, the Jets got the star wide receiver Devontae Adams from the Raiders. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, as you know, played before together in Green Bay, and they're back together. I like this move, but not as much as the Amari Cooper move. I think this move helps out Garrett Wilson. He will finally be single covered, but I don't see him making the Jets a Super Bowl win down type of team that they need to be with a 40-year-old quarterback. Devontae Adams is one of my favorite wide receivers, one of my favorite players in the entire league. And, I'm glad to see him go somewhere where he could be happy and on the field and have a serious number one quarterback throwing it to him. But I just don't see this being, if they made this move for it to be a Super Bowl winning move, I don't see it. All right, also on bye weeks this week is the the Bears and the Cowboys. Bears and the Cowboys are on the bye week this week. So here's my weekly picks. I have Jacksonville winning the 9:30 game against New England. Seattle at 1 o'clock beating Atlanta. Buffalo over Tennessee. Like I said, I see Amari Cooper making that team so much better. You have Cincinnati and Cleveland. Have Houston winning over Green Bay. To go back, I kind of iced over that game. Two young, good quarterbacks playing well. Two young defenses playing well. Jair Alexander going up against Tank Dell is going to be a matchup. Love to see that matchup. So I'm going with Houston on that one. Indianapolis versus Miami. Miami, Lord, they're free falling. I don't think we need to really discuss that much. Like I said, Detroit over Minnesota. Philly over the Giants. Rams over the Raiders. Commanders over the Panthers, of course. Super Bowl from last year and from 2 years ago. We've seen this matchup, Kansas City and San Francisco. San Francisco gets it this time. I see them knocking. Both undefeated teams will lose this week. Call it a bold prediction. Call it what you want. I see both undefeated teams losing this week. And then I see the Jets beating the Patriots. I'm sorry, the Patriots. The Steelers. Really need to read over this. See the Jets beating the Steelers. Sunday Night Football. Like I said, they get offensive help. I don't see Steelers doing much different with Russell Wilson. So don't see how the Pittsburgh can keep up with the Jets, especially the Jets defense. So I'm going with the Jets for the Sunday Night Football win. All right, college football tomorrow starts it off at 12. Not too many games I'm hyped to see, but at 3:30, you got Alabama, number 7 Alabama versus number 11 Tennessee, and then you have number 24 Michigan, reigning champions, and they're taking on Illinois. Again, that's Saturday at 3:30, and then the nightcap Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Number 5 Georgia, number 1 Texas. Great battle in the SEC. So speaking of the top 12 and number 1 Texas versus Georgia, you also have number 2 Oregon playing against Purdue, number 3 Penn State playing against Wisconsin, number 4 Ohio State taking on Nebraska. Already said number 5 they're playing Texas, of course. Miami is playing Louisville. Alabama and Tennessee, we have already said. LSU, number 8, LSU is taking on Arkansas. Number 9, Iowa State, and they're playing against UCF. Number 10, Clemson, playing the ACC matchup against Virginia. And number 12, as I already said, number 11, Tennessee playing Alabama. Number 12, Notre Dame is taking on Georgia Tech. Don't know why Notre Dame don't just go ahead and become an ACC team anyway, but it's another discussion for another day. All right, so we have 2 Monday Night Football games coming up this week. Of course, my eyes, my heart, my attention will be on the Ravens versus the Buccaneers. But you also have another hardball with Jim going up against the Arizona Cardinals. I feel like the Chargers have had injuries that have taken side. They've also had Derwin James be suspended for a game. But I feel like this is a get-right game for the Chargers. I do see them dominating this game on Monday night. I may glance over there occasionally in between plays to see what's going on with this game, but I don't see this game being competitive at all. They're going to run the air out the ball, and the Cardinals have not been able to stop the run. So Chargers beat the Cardinals. I'm going to go with a score of 24-10. All right, that's my show for this evening. Again, like I said, follow Al You Buggin on Instagram at Al_you_buggin. And if you would like, if you're still on X, I'm not about to be in a minute, but while you're on there, you can follow at Al_you_buggin on X as well. All right, y'all. Be blessed, be productive, be more. Love you. I'm out.